An unexpected scene emerges from the fog of war in Ukraine. Russian troops, once noted for their grit, are now battling a faltering morale. Images of Russian convoys immobilized outside Kyiv further weaken the notion of an invincible Russia. This surprising shift begs the question, are we witnessing the first cracks in Russia's military empire? Or is it just a shadow play on the grand stage of warfare? As the world watches the Ukrainian military's relentless commitment in this war against these Russian fighters, many might be wondering what's happening. Shouldn't a powerhouse like Russia be able to roll over an inferior military force like Ukraine's? The answer is not as simple as you think. Once seemingly invincible, the bear is now seen grappling with unseen struggles. Have we been misled into overstating Russia's ground combat abilities? U.S. Secretary of the Air Force Frank Kendall suggests that might be the case. Kendall points out Putin's possible missteps, a misreading of the international reaction, underestimating Ukrainian resilience, and overestimating his military strength. While at the same time, John Kirby of the Pentagon points to an alarming lack of coordination between Russia's air and ground forces. This is surprising considering their intimidating arsenal. Just take a look at the fearsome display of Russian hypersonic weapons, stealthy Su-57 jets, and now the new T-14 Armata tanks. At the end of the day, it might not be enough. For example, how can Russia live up to the hype when overshadowed by NATO's more numerous upgraded tanks and the swarm of F-35s? But don't count Russia out completely. Frank Kendall also added that his words come with a strong warning. Despite these perceived errors, we should not overlook the substantial threat that Russia still poses. Can air dominance be the key to Russian victory? For some reason or another, Russia has not committed fully to an air attack campaign. Despite having a large fleet of advanced fighter aircraft, the Russian Air Force has not been able to secure air dominance. There are even talks of a new 6th-generation fighter jet currently in the making, but would it even make a difference? Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby didn't sugarcoat it. In his words, there's a reason Vladimir Putin hasn't launched an air campaign. The Ukrainians are proving to be more effective in downing drones and anything that enters the airspace, while some other experts claim that it is to save embarrassment and humiliation from a downing of their latest-gen fighter jet, the Sukhoi 57. On the other hand, Secretary of the Air Force Frank Kendall seems to think that Putin misjudged the global reactions, undervalued the resilience of Ukrainians, and overestimated his own military capabilities. To understand this dynamic, we need to recognize that Russia's assault on Ukraine was the inaugural move in the Kremlin's aggressive bid to restore what it perceives as the lost Soviet Empire. Enclosed in an echo chamber, Putin was led to believe Ukrainians would not resist a Russian invasion and would even welcome it. He couldn't have been more wrong. Thousands enlisted in the army and local territorial defense units, demonstrating a potent resistance that the Russians, who had even packed parade uniforms anticipating a swift victory, found shocking. The high professionalism of Ukraine's air defense forces, which kept Russian forces from dominating Ukrainian skies, was another surprise for the Kremlin. Attempts to subdue Ukraine by attacking civilian infrastructure, intending to paralyze its economy and pressure its population, did not yield the intended result either. What was planned as a victorious blitzkrieg evolved into a war that Russia was neither psychologically nor militarily prepared for. Putin is feeling the pressure as more and more nations join NATO, circling in on Russia. The walls are closing in on him. As the world watches, the unfolding events in Ukraine continue to reshape our perceptions of Russia's military prowess. Will this conflict reveal Russia as a paper tiger, or will Putin's forces rally to regain their fearsome reputation? The outcome of this war is not only significant for Ukraine's borders, but also for Eastern Europe as a whole. No sovereignty is safe, not even Russia's. The world's gaze is locked in, ready to uncover the truth as time unravels the reality of Russia's military might. Was the world hasty in designating Russia as a major military power, or has this conflict just exposed temporary weaknesses in Putin's strategy? However, the concern everyone has still remains unclear. What can happen when you corner a desperate man? Do you think there is a plan B for Vladimir Putin and his Russian military? Could he ignore all consequences and consider a serious nuclear blast over Ukraine in order to not only win the war, but also prove Russia's real military strength to the entire world once and for all? Only time will tell, and we'll be here to keep you as up to date as possible.